Did you know that a dropping GFR, or glomerular filtration rate, could be an early warning sign of serious kidney issues? GFR is basically a test that measures how well your kidneys are filtering waste from your blood. A normal GFR is usually above 90, but if it drops below 60 for 3 months or longer, it's considered a sign that your kidneys may not be functioning properly. And if left unchecked, this could eventually lead to kidney disease, kidney failure, or even the need for dialysis. But here's the good news. You can take action now. In today's video, we are going to share 7 crucial steps you can start today to protect your kidneys and slow down any potential damage. So, without any delay, let's begin with number 1, and that is to cut back on salt. But how does this actually help? Let's break it down. First off, salt is mainly composed of sodium, and sodium plays a key role in regulating the fluid balance in your body. When you consume too much sodium, your body retains more water to balance out the high sodium levels in your blood. This extra fluid puts pressure on your blood vessels, leading to an increase in blood pressure, which is a major concern for kidney health. High blood pressure is one of the biggest risk factors for kidney disease, and in fact, it's the second leading cause of kidney failure. But why? Because when blood pressure is high, it puts excessive strain on the tiny blood vessels that supply the kidneys with blood. Over time, this pressure damages these blood vessels, reducing blood supply to kidneys, and making it harder for them to filter waste and fluids properly. As a result, the kidneys can't do their job as efficiently, leading to a buildup of waste in the body, lower GFR, and, eventually, kidney disease. Second, your kidneys are responsible for filtering out excess sodium from your blood. But if the kidneys are constantly overloaded with sodium, it strains them, and kidneys can't function as efficiently, and this can lead to kidney disease. So, what happens when you cut back on salt? By reducing the amount of sodium you consume, you're lowering your blood pressure and giving your kidneys a much-needed break. When there's less sodium in your blood, your kidneys don't have to work as hard to filter it out, and this helps prevent long-term damage. But cutting back on salt doesn't just help protect your kidneys, it also helps improve your cardiovascular health, which is also closely related to kidney health. Now, you might be thinking, how much salt should I actually be consuming? For kidney patients, the recommended sodium intake is usually around 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams per day, which translates to about 1 to 2 tablespoons of table salt in total. However, it's essential to remember that this includes all sources of sodium, not just the salt shaker, so processed foods and restaurant meals also count. This is a much lower amount than most people are used to consuming, but it's crucial for kidney health. Now, you might be wondering, how do I cut back on salt the right way? It's actually simpler than you might think. The first step is to be mindful of processed foods. Things like canned soups, ready-to-eat meals, and packaged snacks are often packed with sodium, even if they don't taste salty. So, cooking from scratch with fresh ingredients is the best way to control how much salt you're consuming. You can also use fresh herbs, garlic, lemon, and spices to flavor your meals instead of reaching for the salt shaker. These alternatives not only add depth and flavor to your dishes, but also give your kidneys a break. Another way to cut back on salt is by swapping out regular salt for healthier options like sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. However, it's important to remember that even these should be used sparingly. The goal is to reduce overall sodium intake, so moderation is key. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one salty snack or habit you think you could swap out starting today? Drop it in the comments below. Now that we've covered how cutting back on salt can help protect your kidneys, let's move on to the next important step, controlling your blood pressure. As mentioned earlier, high blood pressure is a major risk factor for kidney disease, and managing it is key to preventing long-term damage. So, how do you control your blood pressure effectively? Well, first and foremost, maintaining a healthy diet is crucial. Eating a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can go a long way in helping to keep your blood pressure in check. A diet low in sodium, as we just discussed, is a great start. But you also want to make sure you're getting enough potassium, magnesium, and calcium, which are all important for healthy blood pressure. Regular physical activity is another essential factor. Exercise helps to keep your heart and blood vessels in good shape, which in turn helps to maintain healthy blood pressure levels. Even something as simple as a brisk walk for 30 minutes most days of the week can make a significant difference. Managing stress is also critical. Chronic stress can elevate your blood pressure over time, so finding ways to relax, whether it's through meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, or just spending time with loved ones, can help keep your blood pressure within a healthy range. Finally, if you have been prescribed medication to help manage your blood pressure, it's important to take it consistently and as directed. Sometimes lifestyle changes alone aren't enough, and medication may be necessary to keep things under control. All right? Next up is controlling your blood sugar. This is incredibly important, especially if you have diabetes or are at risk of developing it, because high blood sugar or hyperglycemia can have a serious impact on your kidneys over time. But how does this actually affect them? When your blood sugar levels are consistently high, the excess glucose in your bloodstream can damage the blood vessels in your kidneys. Just like high blood pressure, this puts a strain on the small, delicate blood vessels that filter waste and fluids. Over time, this damage can lead to a condition called diabetic nephropathy, a form of kidney disease that can progress to kidney failure if not properly managed. High blood sugar can also cause your kidneys to work harder than normal, which increases the risk of further damage. So, how do you control your blood sugar and protect your kidneys? The first step is to maintain a balanced diet, and one key factor in managing blood sugar is focusing on foods with a low glycemic index, or GI. But what exactly does low glycemic index mean? The glycemic index measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar. Foods with a high GI, like white bread and sugary snacks, cause a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. On the other hand, low GI foods are digested more slowly and cause a gradual rise in blood sugar, helping to keep it stable over time. This is particularly important for kidney health, as stable blood sugar levels put less strain on your kidneys. Some excellent low GI food options include whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice. Non-starchy vegetables such as leafy greens, bell peppers, and broccoli are also great choices. Legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas are not only low GI, but also packed with fiber and protein, making them perfect for managing blood sugar. Fruits like apples, pears, and berries are also good options, as they have a lower glycemic index than many other fruits. On the other hand, there are certain foods you'll want to avoid, especially if you're trying to control blood sugar levels. Foods with a high glycemic index, like white bread, white rice, potatoes, sugary cereals, and sweets, can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar and should be limited. Instead, try swapping them for their whole grain or lower GI counterparts. Regular physical activity is another crucial factor. Exercise helps your body use insulin more efficiently, which in turn helps regulate blood sugar levels. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week, whether it's walking, swimming, cycling, or another activity you enjoy. Monitoring your blood sugar regularly is also essential. Keeping track of your levels will give you better insight into how your body is responding to different foods, activities, and medications. If you're on medication or insulin, make sure to follow your doctor's recommendations and take your medication consistently. Lastly, losing weight. If you're overweight, this can significantly improve blood sugar control. Even a modest weight loss can make a big difference in how your body processes sugar and helps to reduce the strain on your kidneys. Now, moving forward, another important step you need to take is to avoid NSAIDs, which stands for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These include common medications like ibuprofen, naproxen, and even some forms of aspirin that many people use to relieve pain, inflammation, or fever. While they might seem harmless because they are easily available over the counter, they can actually be very dangerous for your kidneys if used regularly or without proper guidance. Let me explain why. NSAIDs work by blocking chemicals in your body that cause pain and inflammation, which sounds great when you are hurting. But here is the downside. They also interfere with blood flow to your kidneys. And that is a big deal, because your kidneys rely on a steady flow of blood to filter waste, manage fluid levels, and keep your whole system in balance. When NSAIDs reduce that blood flow, it puts extra stress on the kidneys. Over time, this stress can damage those delicate blood vessels inside your kidneys, leading to scarring, reduced function, and eventually serious kidney disease. And if you are already dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, or even early signs of kidney trouble, the risks are even greater. In fact, frequent or long-term use of NSAIDs is one of the sneaky reasons many people end up developing chronic kidney disease without even realizing it. So, what should you do instead if you need relief from pain? For occasional aches, acetaminophen, also known as paracetamol, is generally a safer option because it does not mess with kidney blood flow the way NSAIDs do. But even then, it is important to stick to the recommended doses. You can also get creative with non-drug methods to manage pain. Things like using hot and cold packs, gentle stretching, physical therapy, and adding natural anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric and ginger into your meals can make a real difference, and they come without the hidden risks. So, here's the big question. Do you have any go-to kidney-friendly remedies or pain relief tricks that don't involve popping pills? Share your secrets in the comments below. We'd love to hear your creative ways to stay pain-free while protecting your kidneys. All right, moving on. Another crucial step you need to take is to eat a low-protein, kidney-friendly diet. Now, you might be thinking, wait, I thought protein was good for you? And yes, it is. But when your kidneys are struggling, too much protein can actually make things worse. Here is why. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into waste products, including urea, ammonia, and creatinine. It is your kidney's job to filter those waste products out of your blood and remove them through urine. But when your kidneys are not functioning at their best, handling all that extra waste puts an even greater strain on them. Over time, this can speed up the damage and push you closer to kidney failure. So, while protein is essential for the body, eating too much of it, especially when your GFR is dropping, can seriously backfire on your kidney health. By switching to a low-protein, kidney-friendly diet, you are actually helping to lighten the workload on your kidneys. With less protein waste to filter out, your kidneys can function more efficiently and avoid unnecessary stress. It is a smart way to protect whatever kidney function you still have left. Now, let's get into the details. What should you be eating? Focus on incorporating more fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, and controlled portions of protein into your meals. Foods like apples, berries, grapes, cabbage, cauliflower, bell peppers, and leafy greens are excellent choices because they are low in potassium and phosphorus, minerals that can also become problematic when kidneys are weak. Healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, and small handfuls of unsalted nuts can be a great addition too, providing energy without stressing your kidneys. When it comes to protein sources, aim for high-quality, lean options, but in smaller amounts. Things like skinless chicken breast, turkey, fish like salmon or cod, and egg whites are much easier on your kidneys compared to heavier proteins. Plant-based proteins like lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, and tofu can also be included but in moderation. Some plant foods, like beans and legumes, are healthy, but can also be high in potassium and phosphorus, so balance and portion control are key. Now, what should you be avoiding? Try to stay away from large portions of red meats like beef, lamb, and pork, and processed meats like bacon, sausages, deli cuts, and hot dogs. These foods are not only heavy in protein, but also packed with sodium, unhealthy fats, and additives that can further harm your kidneys. Also, avoid high-sodium processed foods, canned soups, instant noodles, frozen dinners, and salty snacks like chips and crackers. They silently load your system with extra salt and make your kidneys work even harder. It is also important to be mindful of dairy products. Foods like full-fat cheese, whole milk, and ice creams are high in protein, sodium, and phosphorus. If you do consume dairy, opt for smaller portions and look for kidney-friendly versions like almond milk or rice milk, but always check for added sugars and phosphorus additives. Finally, drinking plenty of water, unless your doctor tells you otherwise, can help your kidneys flush out waste more effectively and stay hydrated without overloading them. Eating this way may take a little adjustment at first, but your kidneys will thank you for it in the long run. You are investing in preserving your health for the future, one smart meal choice at a time. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite kidney-friendly meal or snack? Got any tasty low-protein ideas up your sleeve that can help others make the switch? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and let's build a recipe collection that makes eating healthy easy and delicious. Now that we have talked about adjusting your protein intake, another really important step you need to focus on is avoiding foods that are high in phosphorus and potassium. You might not hear about these minerals as often as sodium, but when your kidneys are struggling, managing phosphorus and potassium becomes absolutely critical. Here is why. Under normal conditions, your kidneys are excellent at keeping the levels of phosphorus and potassium in your blood perfectly balanced. But when kidney function drops, these minerals can start to build up in your blood, and that is where the trouble begins. When phosphorus levels get too high, it can pull calcium out of your bones, making them weak and brittle. Not just that, excess phosphorus in the blood can lead to dangerous calcium deposits in your blood vessels, heart, lungs, and other parts of the body. This increases your risk for serious heart problems, which is already a concern if you have kidney disease. As for potassium, too much of it in the blood can be even more dangerous. High potassium levels, a condition called hyperkalemia, can cause irregular heartbeats, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, it can even trigger a heart attack. And the tricky part is, you often do not even feel symptoms until it becomes a real emergency. That is why managing potassium is not something you can afford to overlook when protecting your kidneys. So, what should you avoid? When it comes to phosphorus, try to limit or avoid foods like processed cheeses, dark-colored sodas, packaged meats, organ meats like liver, and even certain whole grains like bran cereals. Also, be cautious with phosphorus additives found in processed and fast foods. These additives are absorbed by the body much more easily than natural phosphorus found in whole foods, making them even more harmful. For potassium, you will want to cut back on high-potassium foods like bananas, oranges, potatoes, tomatoes, avocados, spinach, and dried fruits like raisins and apricots. Even though many of these foods are healthy in general, when your kidneys are weak, they can become risky because of their potassium content. Instead, choose lower potassium options like apples, blueberries, grapes, strawberries, cauliflower, green beans, and white rice. If you still want to enjoy some higher potassium vegetables like potatoes, you can use a technique called leaching, where you soak and boil them in water to pull out some of the potassium, but always in moderation and under guidance if possible. The goal is not to be afraid of food, but to make smarter, more kidney-friendly choices that protect you from silent damage. Working with a kidney dietitian can also be extremely helpful in customizing a plan that keeps your phosphorus and potassium levels safe without making you feel deprived. And finally, last on our list, but definitely not the least, is to take omega-3 rich foods. Trust me, this one can make a real difference for your kidneys and your overall health. Omega-3 fatty acids are a type of healthy fat that your body absolutely needs but cannot produce on its own. They are well known for their powerful anti-inflammatory properties, and if you are dealing with declining kidney function, reducing inflammation inside your body becomes incredibly important. Chronic inflammation can speed up the progression of kidney disease, quietly damaging the tissues and blood vessels over time without you even feeling it at first. Adding more omega-3s into your diet helps in several ways. First, they help lower blood pressure. And, as we already discussed earlier, Keeping your blood pressure under control is key to protecting your kidneys. Second, omega-3s can help lower triglycerides, a type of fat found in your blood that, when elevated, increases your risk of heart disease. Since people with kidney issues already have a higher risk for heart problems, omega-3s do double duty by supporting both your kidneys and your heart. So, where can you find these incredible nutrients? The best natural sources are fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. These fish are packed with high-quality omega-3s that your body can easily use. If you are not a big fan of fish, you can also get omega-3s from plant-based sources like chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and hemp seeds. However, keep in mind that the type of omega-3s found in plants is a little different and not as powerful as the type found in fish, but they are still a great addition to your diet. However, watch out for one important thing: that how the fish is prepared. Fried fish or heavily salted fish defeats the purpose. Go for baked, grilled, or steamed options without piling on heavy sauces or added sodium. You want all the benefits without introducing more salt or unhealthy fats into your meals. And if getting enough omega-3s through food is difficult, some people consider high-quality fish oil supplements. But before jumping into any supplements, it is always best to check with your doctor, especially when you are managing kidney issues. And there you have it. 7 powerful steps you can start taking today to protect your kidneys and give yourself a stronger, healthier future. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like so it can reach more people who truly need this information. Together, we can help more people protect their health and make their golden years truly golden. Also, share this with someone you care about. Drop a comment below to let us know which step you are going to start with. And do not forget to subscribe for more life-changing health tips.